Welcome viewers to the Founders Talk Show. Today we have with us Mr. Shiv Rao, the founder and CEO of 3RZeroWaste. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, audience and MyStartup TV to having me today.
So tell us something about your company.
Right. So the company name 3RZeroWaste. This was an idea when I was traveling back from India last year, February 2020, and I was traveling to Kuwait. And 3rd of March, the lockdown started in Kuwait. So, when the whole thing was locked down, we were all sitting working from home, not much work to be done. And then this idea came to me of, doing something for my country. And the journey started from that idea of doing something with plastic waste. And that became bigger and bigger as I networked with so many, people across the world from Japan to San Francisco. And that dream has become like now I want to develop a company which can work in all type of wastes.
What are the services that you provide?
Yeah, so initially, when I said I wanted to do with plastic waste, then after doing a lot of research, we wanted to, we diversified in the startup community. We say, pivot. So I pivoted and I found that electronic waste is one of the waste where very few companies are working ethically. There are almost 330 e-waste recyclers. But if you see some latest news, there are many companies who don't even have a shed on top of their factory and they claim to be a recycler. So we wanted to, we have researched that many lives are being lost in the area of UP, Delhi, where electronic waste is being sold from all parts of the country, is being sent to, Delhi side, where this electronic waste is being burnt in houses. And people are dying because of this. And there is no accounting for them because nobody says it is because of e-waste. And that is the reason I started with electronic waste. And the company has two divisions. One is on waste management, which will have electronic waste to start with, then plastic waste, then food waste, and municipal solid waste. So these are in the next 3 years, we will be going in for this particular waste segment. And the other segment is on recycling and environmental consultancy. So we are trying to promote with companies where they can help to reduce the waste. So, how to manage the waste is the second question. But if we are able to reduce the waste immediately, that is more, makes sense, which is a concept of Industry 5.0 from Czech Republic. Michael Rada is the CEO, and that particular concept I am implementing for him in Pan India.
That's great. So, how do you think zero waste is unique?
Yeah, so zero waste concept, as I mentioned, the name, when I was trying to come up with some name, we were discussing so many things. So the company name is 3RZeroWaste. So 3R is reduce, reuse, recycle. So which is a very main concept of minimizing the waste. Okay, we can reduce the waste. Like let us take an example of when you go to the supermarket, you buy chips, you buy biscuit, right? You can try to buy bigger packs. If you buy 100 grams of 10 items and 1000 grams of one item, the amount of waste produced is reduced straight away. So things like that, we are trying to educate people. We are going to industries. That is why we say we are not a kabadiwala. We are a company which is going to companies, industries, and educate their people how to maintain zero waste.
That is very, very innovative.
Thank you.
So, tell us something about your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, so basically I have a 90 seconds introduction when I meet somebody first time, and I didn't do that. So I would tell that story of 90 seconds of my journey from where I started. So myself, I am Shiv Rao, born and brought up in Calcutta. I did my primary education in St. Xavier's College, wherein from there, I passed out in 94. I moved to Hyderabad, did my engineering there, and I passed out in 99 in JNTU Kukatpalli. From there, I moved to Delhi, where I worked in India for 7 years. And thereafter, I had a passion of going abroad. So I moved to Nigeria, my first job, wherein it was again a risky job. People would say you will be kidnapped. No, how can you go to that country? But I took that risk, and that is what has become my risk-taking aptitude. So when I went there, I worked with a company called ExxonMobil, which is again one of the world's biggest oil and gas majors. So that is where I learned about health, safety, and environment. Because in India, you will listen to many big companies talking about health, safety, and environment, but they don't have that much of taking care of their people and the environment. So that is where I learned about that, and I was really passionate about this health, safety, and environment. So thereafter, my career was like a roller coaster. I have been traveling every 2 years in a different country, worked in countries like Abu Dhabi for Shell, Bechtel in Philippines, SNC Lavalin in Australia, and Eskom in South Africa. And now I'm presently, before leaving the job, in Kuwait for an oil and gas company. So leaving this 23 years of career, I'm coming back to India to clean India. So that's my project, 3RZeroWaste.
That is very, very inspiring. Now, what are the difficulties that you faced in your entrepreneurial journey?
Okay, that's an interesting question, because when I wanted to set up my plastic waste plant, I wanted to become a brand which will be proud to say that I'm using recycled plastic, because you will get many brands in plastic. In fact, I was just watching one video today, I posted in my Facebook. One person buys, he goes to supermarket, he comes up in the home, and he just puts each item on his table, and everything had plastic. Everything. The Maggie, the fruity, the Pepsi bottle, the vegetables covered in plastic. So every aspect of our life is ruled by plastic. So one of my global youth ambassadors was presenting, and she was telling me that plastic was innovation maybe 50 years back, but we didn't see what will it cause, because now for thousands of years, this plastic will be lying like this, which is like 95% of plastic produced is still lying, and it will lie for the next so many years. So that is, the challenges is, the first thing is I wanted to have my plant in Andhra Pradesh, but I wanted to do in my own land. Then people told, if you do in your land, they will have a lot of implications. Citizens will say there is pollution and your plant can get stopped. So then I moved from North Andhra, Srikakulam village. I wanted to put up in Visakhapatnam. Then I was waiting for this MSME policy. The MSME policy came somewhere in July 2020, which this year was not a very promising policy for entrepreneurship in Andhra Pradesh. Then I was looking at other states where it is possible for coming up with a quick, because I am a doer. I don't like to wait because of documentations, policies. I didn't want. So what I did is, I had a known person in Gurgaon, and Gurgaon was the place when I choose, and I had my, everything I do in a planning way, because my 23 years I have worked in planning and scheduling. So 1st of October, I had planned to start my company, which we did it in Gurgaon. We had an employee of 4 people, 2 directors, 1 marketing manager, and admin staff. So that is how we started in Gurgaon. The other challenges was financial challenges. Nobody to support startups immediately. So I had to, sell my own house so that I can fund my project at least for the first 2 years. And I was not ready to take any other funds also, because if people will ask when they fund a startup that what is a proof of concept, you will be successful. So I am waiting for my proof of successful, then I will open up for funding.
What are your future plans for the company for the next 5 years?
Yes, so as I said, when you say something called planning, I like it, because that is what I do. So in terms of my vision for the next 3 years, I wanted to bring up this company to be in the top 3 companies in India in waste management. So as I said, electronic waste, plastic waste, food waste, which is again, humongous in India, which is happening, and municipal solid waste. So municipal solid waste is like a whole city, which is like, it takes almost like 100 crore plus investment. So I'm not going to enter that particular segment nearby, but hopefully if I'm able to success in electronic waste and plastic waste, that would be the next area of interest. And in 5 years, I want to make this brand 3RZeroWaste an international organization to be in the top 5 in the world, to be, in terms of waste management.
That's great. So now, as you said that you work with companies for the waste management, so what about the support that you receive from them? Like, were all of them supportive in the beginning, or was it difficult?
Yeah, so to tell you frankly, my company, even though I started 1st of October, we took the factory and then we have to do the remodeling of the factory, then machinery of the factory. But again, people don't give you the right impact, right? You have researched yourself, but the real picture in the ground, it's not there. So definitely on the waste management, I am still about to get my final certificate. In fact, yesterday only I paid the fees for the CTO, to operate, certificate to operate. This is something you have to get from Pollution Control Board. But the lack of knowledge, what I think is, there are a lot of policies from the government which are not aware by startups. So then we land up paying fees, we land up paying some additional cost which can be saved. So I think government is doing very good in Startup India. And even I have got registered and I've got a certificate now from DIPP as a innovative startup. So I've done that. I've got my MSME. So sorry, coming back to your question in the support, yes, there is an organization called Manesar Welfare Association, in the Industry Welfare Association. They have supported me. The president has given me the one purchase order. The secretary has given me the second purchase order. So we have 3 clients in the first month of operations. And it was a good support to see the recycling and environmental consultancy. But now the game has started. Now I'm paying the factory rent, I'm paying the employees, and now it is where I'm looking for the major contracts where I can help companies for their electronic waste.
How many hours a day you give to your company?
See, being a startup, in fact, from the month of February, when I landed in February 2020, it was almost 16 to 18 hours. I was rigorously networking. So, as I mentioned, I am a very abrupt LinkedIn professional. So I have almost 15,000, connections in LinkedIn, and I am well versed Facebook and Instagram. So I've spent a lot of time connecting with people. And I used to, because I was not into waste management. I was oil and gas, power plant, and mining industry. So when I came initially, then I had to I wanted to learn about it. So I joined a certificate course from Switzerland, online certificate course. So I used to spend at least 4-5 hours day during my first 3 months of my study while I was doing the research. So that used to take a lot of time. And then networking was very important for me, and that made my company. Now if you see our presentation, we have almost 20 countries supporting me in this project. So not only in seeds, money is not the main criteria. I didn't ask for money, as I mentioned, but the time. I have ambassadors in Finland, in Ireland, in US, 2 people, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, now Ghana. So so many people who are interested in environment. And how it all starts, my networking always starts with one question. It says, are you concerned with waste management in India? And the answer, everybody says yes. And the reason being, because we share the same earth. The earth is one. And unfortunately, India, we have 1.8 billion tons of waste lying in our country. All these dump yards, since independence, India has not done much. But recently, the government has started Swachh Selection, and it has improved a lot for the last 5 years. And hope more entrepreneurs can come in our field, and India will become a beautiful country.
Any advice for the young entrepreneurs?
Yes. So for the young entrepreneurs, it is actually a very good means when you say young entrepreneurs. So I am like an old entrepreneur. I'm in my 45, and I'm well settled. My daughter is in London, and my son is studying international education in Kuwait. So, but for young entrepreneurs, India needs you. So, whenever there is an idea, whenever there is, a startup movement, please go and attend. Whenever there is an opportunity in your college, in your school, go and attend it. Try to be creative and be involved in that. Make it your like everything. Whenever you have an idea and you want to follow it, you have to make it everything. And you have to live, die, and everything for that. Your dream should be about that. You should see videos about that. You should learn about that. And then the actual thing is ideas. Somebody said there are almost thousands of ideas every second in our human brain which can take. But the ideas, what is passionate about, you are passionate about it, you want to implement, you have to do it. Because just having an idea is absolutely no gainer. So you have to choose out of those millions of ideas which can come in one person's brain. One has to choose one idea and go for it. And the other advice would be is the younger you start, the more time you have less responsibilities. So you have creativity, and always try to work with people. Don't try to see that I want to do it myself. So many startups, they as a one founder, they will not try to share ideas. So it is not the right approach. And I also read is the more you talk about your idea, the more you will develop, and you can refine it to suit the market.
What is your opinion about MyStartup TV? We are a channel for MSMEs and startups.
Yes. So while networking, I also bumped into Captain while I was, and he was part of one common WhatsApp group. So we have interacted, and I found him as a, he's this startup, what he has done, innovative channel, and he's supporting MSMEs. And I see a lot of young entrepreneurs and old entrepreneurs like me are on this, channel. And it is a good way of motivating entrepreneurs. At the same time, it is a good way of taking India to where we want to be in coming years.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Your journey is really, really inspiring for all of us. And I hope everyone gets to know the importance, and your idea is very unique and very helpful to our country and our earth.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, sir.